Hey guys, it's Lauren. Thank you for joining me for yet another video. Today I am sitting down talking about, rounded up my current favorites. I didn't do one for the month of December since I did like that giant big fat yearly favorite. So some of these I was also into in the month of December. So it's like December, January favorites, and I have quite a bit of things to talk about. So I'm just gonna get right into it. If you watched my Winter's Essential, then you'll have seen this guy recently. It is the Leahlani Champagne Serum. This is the newest out of the Leahlani oils to my growing Leahlani collection. But I do have the older formula, so I can't speak too much about this guy, even though it is a favorite, because it does have a new formula. It has, I think they added blue tansy as well as something else into it. But I'm not, yeah, I don't want to like, I love this guy because I believe it is different now, but the base of it is grapeseed oil and rosehip and jojoba and chamomile and calendula in it as well, which those are still ingredients that are in the newer version. So I have been really liking this guy. It is a favorite. Now, this guy that I've also been really into is the Aloha Ambrosia Morning Moisture Elixir. I had to double check. It's got quite a long name, but this is actually the oldest Leahlani oil that I have. It's the first one that I tried. I've got all of them now, so eventually I'll do a little Leahlani roundup video of all the products that I have tried. But yeah, I got back into this one. It kind of had shelved it as like any skincare junkie, you know, things just kind of make their way to the back, and I was like, oh, I need to like use that again, and I don't want it to go bad. But I have really been into using this guy, especially in the morning. It's a really lightweight oil, and it is my favorite out of like the scents of Leahlani oils. It's very like jasmine-y, which is really nice. It does have jasmine oil, passion fruit, aloe, guava, squalene, and I'm sure like a bunch of other things, because they're all like mixture elixir serums. You know, they're all like kind of a blend, all of the Leahlani oils. But this one has a really nice lightweight formula that sinks in really fast, so it's nice for using in the morning, and it also lays really well under makeup. It's kind of like, I almost feel like my skin looks primed after I use it. So yeah, I've been really reaching for this in like my kind of base routine lately. I've had this very like long base makeup routine the last few weeks, and this has made up part of that. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this guy in the morning. Last skincare favorite that I wanted to mention is the Amore Pacific Vintage Single Extract Essence. I put this in also a recent video where I was like kind of rounding up recent skincare purchases and reviewing them, and I've used this guy even more so since then, and I can't fully feel like the price is justified yet. I'll see how my skin is in relation to using this like the further down I get in the bottle. You know, I've been using it for about almost 2 months straight, and that has gotten me down to here. You know, I take a day off here and there, but I've pretty consistently been using this for about 2 months. And it has, it's green tea, and it has this ingredient. It's like, I want to say Ketchikan, which is not the name of the ingredient. That is like a town in Alaska, but it is a property in green tea that helps with like elasticity, firmness, clarity of skin, and sort of things like that, since this is supposed to be like an anti-aging, antioxidant essence. And I have been feeling like a level of clarity to my skin lately. You know, maybe it is partially can be attributed to this guy and like the copious amounts of like vitamin C and retinols that I've been using. But yeah, I really liked this, especially using it at night, and I'll like pat it onto the skin, and I'll do like a couple layers. Sometimes I'll like pat it and then do like a couple layers and then put on like hot labo, and it like sets up my skin really well for the other sort of ingredients that I choose to put on top of it. Sinks in really nicely, smells like tea. Yeah, so I did get it during like the holidays, so I got it for 20% off, which was like a huge amount off for how stupidly expensive this thing is. But yeah, it is a favorite. But I will, of course, keep you guys posted on my progress of using this thing if it is worth the stupid price tag. I usually save like media favorites towards the end if I include them at all, but there are a few things that I've been super into lately, so I'm gonna put it right in here, so feel free to just like skip ahead to the makeup part. But a few TV shows that I've been really into. I pretty much binge watched End of the World. It's a BBC, I believe, Netflix show, and it's like typical BBC show where it's like only like 6 or 8 episodes, but I really liked it. Very dark, funny though, with awesome voiceovers and an amazing soundtrack. If you are like in the mood to like get into a variety of music just from watching that show and like shazamming the different tracks, you'll get yourself like a pretty sweet playlist. And it had a really great character progression. The two leads, their relationship was really awesome to watch blossom and progress, especially with the mixed voiceovers. That's all I want to say, since I don't want to like give anything away about the show. And then Baskets, which is back, which is probably one of like my all-time favorite shows. It's another super dark comedy, but I actually didn't like Baskets the first couple of episodes that I watched of it because the characters are rather unlikable during their first impressions. You know, they're the type of characters that if they were people that you met in real life, you probably wouldn't like them because they don't give off good first impressions. And that is sort of true in the first couple of episodes, that you really grow to love these characters the more you watch them. And Martha Kelly, I believe that's her name, she's the comedian who plays Martha in it, is just amazing. And you know, Louis Anderson is absolutely phenomenal, and of course Zach Galifianakis as twins Chip and Dale is amazing. And then actually a YouTube channel that if I was to like have like a media favorites and things like that of all of 2017, this would be on there. So I wanted to put it in here, and that is Screen Prism. If you are into sort of like deconstruction and like looking at like mise-en-scène and how like things like relate and different references in movies and TV shows, it is a really good channel for that. I actually stumbled across the channel at least a year ago when I was like going down like a Game of Thrones theory video stuff, and they had all these really great videos about like symbolism of the different houses. But then they make videos about all types of things. A couple of my favorite videos from them, they have this really great one about Twin Peaks and the need of nostalgia. And then they have one about Disney's Cinderella and victim blaming. And then what else? Oh, and they actually do a whole series on Friends that is really great. They have one about Rachel Green being like the true protagonist of the show, and like Chandler Bing's like evolution as a character, and like him opening up. It's really good. Anyways, so there you go, all my media stuff if you were curious at all. So now I'm gonna get into makeup. A couple of favorites that I've had in the makeup realm. The first one I will talk about is the Nars Narsissist Wanted palette. It's funny how the cover is like pixelated, and you can tell that I've used it so much because it's like the part that wasn't pixelated, which is the foiled name, is now like wearing away and is looking super pixelated. And then also if you just like look inside the palette, it is like super beat up because this has been my go-to palette for at least 2 months. When Sephora like sends out around Christmas time that like $25 off gift card or whatever for spending so much money at the store, I used it to get this guy. So it wasn't the full stupid amount of money as well. It was $25 less. But I have been really enjoying this palette, and the two shades I'd say I dip into the most are these two shimmer shades. This one is, that one's Shooting Star, and it's a really, really beautiful, very impactful, like champagne rosé shimmer, but it's like very loose, so you have to use your finger with it. And then this one, which is Fallen Star, into the two star ones, this one is probably my most favorite shade in the palette. And it's funny because all the rest are very like warm toned and like red toned, and this is green, and I have been on a huge green eyeshadow kick. I've been using this in conjunction with this palette, as well as like laying over other like matte green eyeshadows that I have, and it's really, really pretty. And I want like a great green, like a cohesive green eyeshadow palette to come out. That is on my wish list. Lip wise, I have been wearing Glossier's Generation G in Cake a lot. I never really got into the Generation G lipsticks. I had one, I still have, I think it's Zip. It's like this reddish shade, and it's nice. I just never really reached for it that often. And then totally prime example of influencer marketing working to the T is I just kept seeing everybody talking about the Generation Gs in general, and specifically Cake was just, I feel like it's just been everywhere, like super everywhere lately. And yeah, I got suckered in and I bought it, and now I've been wearing Cake on my face for several weeks, and it is a really nice, like, your lips but better type of nude. My only sort of like problem with a lot of nudes in general, and this one is no exception, is that oftentimes when I wear like a nude lipstick, it just kind of like, it almost like makes my lips look smaller or like sloppy, because it like kind of feathers onto my face, because it doesn't, when there's like a nude lip, it doesn't feel like there's enough definition or contrast between my face and my lips. So to sort of combat that while still like wanting like a nude is layering this up quite a bit, because like one swipe is pretty sheer. But using a lip liner, I think I've mentioned this a million times, the Marc Jacobs lip liner in Primrose. This isn't like a match to Cake, and I don't think it's like much of a match to any of my nudes, but I think using a nude lip liner that isn't exactly like, it's actually not the same color, kind of helps that even more. So that's a little tip or thing that I have been doing that helps. And then lastly, in terms of makeup that I'm gonna include in this video, is this like very excessive base cocktail combination that I've been into. I don't know if the Get Ready With Me will be out before or after this video, but I used this in a recent Get Ready With Me that included that Nars palette, but this has just been my go-to base, and it is a mixture of the Lancome Teint Idole, old staple foundation of mine, and then with a pump of that, and then a pump of the 1/1 base Sheer Glow. This is a really nice, like, soft focused coppery shimmer highlighter, and then I'll do a pump of the Dr. Hauschka translucent bronzing tint. This is like the newer guy. This is a dude I got for Christmas, and yeah, so I'll just do a pump of each of these, and I'll paint it on my face with a just like a typical like foundation paddle brush type, and I've been loving that concoction together. It's actually like this, the Aloha Ambrosia, couple of primers and some other bronzers have been like pretty much my favorite base for a while. It's like an excessive amount of products, but it brings me quite a lot of joy, and isn't that the point? I think so. Anyways, so that guy, I have been loving that quite a bit. Yeah, so that's it for beauty, makeup, and media stuff. One other thing I wanted to talk about is actually this bracelet, and it has a matching necklace. This isn't like something that you can go out and buy, but it has been, these two things have been a strong favorite of mine the last 6 or 7 weeks. When I went home for the holidays, anytime I go home, actually, my mom ends up like giving me more and more like heirlooms and things like that. And she gave me this bracelet and necklace set that I believe was my grandmother's, if not my great-grandmother's. So this is, I believe, I need to call her and double check, but I believe this is from like the 1920s, because my mom, she's in her 70s, so my grandma was a young lady in the 20s. And yeah, this is something of hers, and I never knew my grandparents, so it's really nice to have these things. And also just because I think they're absolutely beautiful and super unique. I treasure when jewelry particular, but any sort of like object, whether it's an object in my space that I'm decorating from, or if it's like an article of jewelry, I like it when things have a sense of meaning or history behind them, or you have like a relationship to them. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another video. If you enjoyed it, please toss it a thumbs up, and if you are new or undecided, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah guys, I hope you had a lovely December and January, and there were lots of things in it, both of object and relationship and life that you loved. All right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.